When you heard Harry say that, has he lost his mind?
I'm gobsmacked. You cannot compare Princess Diana to Meghan. They are two totally different creatures in totally different spaces at totally different times. And if you had lived with her for 10 years, as I did, I can honestly say there is no comparison to Princess Diana.
Tess?
None.
Paul, I mean, Harry's a man in love. He's in love with Meghan, and his memory of Diana is one from when he was a 10 and 11-year-old boy.
Yes.
Is he in love, or is he, as Donald Trump told me? Have we got the Donald Trump clip?
Oh, do we have to play the Donald Trump clip?
Yeah. Have we got it? This is what Donald Trump said. It wasn't really love he thought was the problem. Let's listen to this. Here we go. It's coming. It's the magic of live television.
Harry is whipped. Do you know the expression whipped?
I'm familiar with the phrase.
I won't use the full expression. But Harry is whipped like no person I think I've ever seen.
The most whipped man in the world.
I don't know, that's going to be a big one, but he is a whipped man, yeah.
Yeah, the full expression is he's pussy whipped.
I don't want to take my advice on romance and love from two Neanderthal men over 50. Quite frankly, I think you're all missing the point. I thought the main takeaway message, which you could learn from, and all three of us could probably be humiliated by, was the relationship, the crony relationship between the British press and the palace. There's mutual dependency
which was
there that's
massively
corrupting.
Sorry.
No, it's corrupting, and it has been throughout the 20th century. If I may ask you,
as a former tabloid newspaper editor for 10 years,
yes,
I know more about that relationship than you do, with great respect.
Historically, I probably know
actually,
more about
than you do, because I was on the sharp end of it.
I can test that.
The idea that somehow there was some collusion between the newspapers and the journalists at Buckingham Palace.
Can I just jump in, having covered the royals for the best part of 15 years, let me just tell you, and one of the things that annoyed me so much in what Harry said was the idea that we are just a royal rota, that are just drip-fed material from the house. If only it was that easy. His contempt for the British media is so apparent.
By the way, what about this? This is a guy whining about the media. What's he done since he left royal duty? He's now on James Corden's bus top. He's doing Oprah Winfrey. He's doing a Netflix reality show. The guy never stays off of using the media.
He's doing it on
All he
his own
wanted was
terms.
cash.
And what we need to be honest about is the predominantly conservative press rely on access to the royal family for their scoops, for their biographies. Even I, as a historian, if I go too far, will I get into the Royal Archive? The truth is, it's compromising. And if we'd all done our job properly, maybe there would be a royal household which has more than 10% ethnic minority employees.
The truth is that Harry has always attacked tabloids, including ones that I used to edit, for exploiting the royal family for commercial gain. Now he is exploiting his hatred of the royal family for commercial gain, even using his own mother, the late Princess Diana, to do that for money, for hard dollars.
I concede that Harry
and it is
far
disgusting
from perfect.
hypocrisy.
I concede he's not perfect.
His mother would be very unhappy.
She'd be furious
about what is happening now, because it upsets William, it upsets Kate, and those boys had a pact that these interviews would not be shown again on national television.
And they used
particularly
excerpts from the panorama.
Bashir.
Well, let me bring in. We've got a stellar panel of ordinary members of the public here, all of whom have strong opinions. We won't get to all of you, and you know that. But I want to go to Fran Foley-Winston, who's in Dublin.
Welcome back to Uncovered, where I pull back the curtain on royal headlines and reveal what's really going on. Today, things are heating up in the Markle universe. The family's fighting back, and the truth? It's messier than you think. So, if you're tired of the sugarcoating and want the raw facts, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Let's get right to it. First up, Meghan Markle's half-brother, Thomas Markle Jr., is about to drop a counter-documentary that promises to shake the palace walls. He says Meghan's Netflix series was a fairy tale, one with the family cut straight out of the story. This time, Thomas Jr. claims he's coming with receipts, real documents, real footage, and he's naming names. He's not just telling his side, he's exposing what he calls the erasure of the Markle family. If this hits like he says, it could flip the royal narrative upside down.
Fran, what was your take on what we saw today?
it was just so cringe-worthy. I don't know how they managed to get 6 episodes. It was halfway through, and they weren't even engaged yet. I don't think they dated that long in real life. Ridiculous.
So you weren't impressed?
No, and I'm in a group, messenger groups coming on.
Frank, we're having a problem with your link there. I'm going to try and come back to you a bit later. Let's go now to, we're going to go to Nicola Myers. What is your view? You have a different view, I think, Nicola.
Okay, so my view of the Netflix series, as it happens this morning, I've actually watched episode 1, 2 and 3 back to back. And I loved it. Okay, I absolutely loved it. Before I watched it, I wasn't sure of my opinion of everything that had gone on with Meghan and Harry, and if they were set out to jeopardise the British monarchy. After watching it, I'm on their side. I'm for Meghan and Harry.
Why?
I absolutely am.
Why?
They're madly in love. They're madly in love.
I'm very happy for them. Why trash their families?
Happy.
Why trash their families?
Why trash the families?
Yeah.
I don't think they've purposely set out to trash their families.
They literally purposely set out to trash their families.
With all the racial... Harry has got scared of all the racial abuse that the love of his life was getting. He saw it happening, what had happened to his mother, where his mother got murdered. And he's panicked. They've gone.
Well, she died in a car crash. She wasn't
murdered. He doesn't want to see that happen.
Okay, let me go to Magali Gore, who's in. We haven't got Magali. I'm sorry. We'll come back to another one of our panel in a moment. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Lots of different reactions. I've heard some people say they like them and they support them. You see that on social media a lot. I've got to say, walking around today, I didn't meet anyone in Kensington on the streets who was anything but furious.
Yes.
I've not had anyone on my Twitter feed coming in saying that at all. And people saying we're going to cancel our Netflix subscription. There seems to be a real reaction against it.
It's a clear exploitation of Princess Diana's image.
It's very anti-British. I'm going to own that. That really struck me this morning in my little British home. I thought, gosh, I felt almost like I was under siege. And I'm fairly neutral in terms of, where my affections lie, whether it's for the royals or for Harry.
I was watching with my wife, Celia. It was her birthday today. Happy birthday to my wife. And we couldn't think of a better way to enjoy her birthday than to spend 3 hours watching those whining little brats in Montecito. But we sat and watched it, and about halfway through, we turned to it and went, this is really boring, isn't it? And the reason it was boring was because they were repeating so much of the rehashed stuff which we heard on Oprah. It's the same. It's like Elvis playing all his old hits, only he's not quite as good this time.
They're not appealing to you, the voyeuristic, let's have a look in their Montecito home, they met on Instagram, all those aspects. To be fair, Piers, I mean, it's going to the generation below even me, let alone you.
Well, let's go. All right, we can go to Magali Gore now, Magali Gore, who's in Cheshire. Magali, I think you can hear me now. What's your view?
Yes. Hi. Well, to be fair, I have double feelings about it. But one feeling that I can say is that, as you can see, I'm a woman, I'm brown. And when I saw royalty getting in love, and she was a brown princess because she became a princess, the door went open for so many dreams of little girls like me. When I was young, and I was raised in a very white community, racist. Now, sometimes people are not used to how you look like. They're not used to how you, what your roots are or what your background is, or that you handle things maybe differently. I loved the wedding, for example. The wedding was a bit American.
Well, I agree with you.
Music,
I wrote all this, Magali. I wrote a big piece for the Mail on Sunday saying exactly what you've just been saying. I think that was the general mood of this country.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so angry that they're now trying to make out they were driven out by racist Britain, racist royals, racist media. None of that was true.
Now, let's talk about that royal wedding guest list. Piers Morgan and his crew have been loud about this. Meghan said she had no family, but left her dad and siblings off the invite list. Meanwhile, the seats went to celebrities: Oprah, Serena Williams, the Clooneys. So, was it about love and unity, or just curating the perfect guest list for the cameras? Critics say it all screams image over family. Spotting a pattern? Tap subscribe. I'm just getting started. Here's where things get uncomfortable. The social climate accusation. According to Morgan, Meghan built connections, then cut off anyone who didn't fit her narrative. Old friends? Ghosted. Father? Shut out. Siblings? Gone. In their place? A polished, royal persona, independent, elegant, and always camera ready.
Now, what did you think now, having watched it today? What's your view of them now?
It is a repeat from a lot of things, and I have to be honest to you, still we cannot really feel what she felt. I only know that when you're coming in an institution that where she comes in a family that is a very strong and very serious family, a very, look at the Queen. She's born to do this, So this is what you do. This is what you're going to live. And then there comes a girl from America that thinks with an American background to the red carpet, oh, I'm going to make it now. Look at me. No. You have to live like the protocols.
Yeah.
And I think that's a struggle. And
okay, Magali, I've got to leave it there.
Like
I get your point.
Look.
I've got to leave it there.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a break, but thank you for that. I'm going to come back after the break, and we'll talk more about this, particularly also Meghan Markle mocking the moment she met the Queen and had to curtsy, and Harry's response. Does it get any more disrespectful than that? We'll talk about it after the break.
Mate, we're on air in 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, just get rid of some stress, it's fine.
Sam Allardyce is here, everyone!
You've got someone out guitar for me?
Okay, you're definitely out there, right?
Yeah, I'm out here. So I need some A-listers on the show, right?
Howard's getting 5,000 quid.
Marie Stapleton Stadium.
He's getting all the laugh. Would you go back into football?
If it was the Wolves job, I'd go back into football, but I can't speak Portuguese.
I thought I wouldn't be able to get a beer out here. I can.
Great, there we put that up there. Oh!
He's back, and he's uncensored. Debating the breaking news and talking to the biggest names. Piers Morgan is live every week with a host of stars. Uncompromising, unmissable, and uncensored. And remember,
if you're thinking it, we're talking about it.
Piers Morgan, Uncensored, Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m. on Talk TV. This is Talk TV.
There's no class in some person who goes sit like this, cross your legs like this, use this fork, don't do this, curtsy then, wear this kind of hat. Doesn't happen. And I remember in the car and driving up, and he said, "You know how to curtsy, right?" And I just thought it was a joke. I mean, Americans will understand this. We have medieval times, dinner and tournament. It was like that. Like, I curtsied as though I was like... Pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty.
Yeah, nice, right? Mocking our queen, mocking the fact she had to show her respect by just learning how to curtsy properly. It's not hard to learn, is it, if you're marrying into the family? Well, joining me now is the editor of Hollywood Unlocked, Jason Lee, niece of Martin Luther King Jr., Arvida King, and conservative radio host Ben Ferguson. I still have Paul and Katie with me. So let me start with you, if I may, Ben Ferguson. What does America make of this? I mean, surely they're not falling for this, are they?
Yeah, can you please come get your Kardashians? That's number one. Number two, it seems like these two individuals that are obsessed with being private people and being out of the public eye are actually a bunch of narcissists that are totally obsessed with being in the public eye. It was a crybaby special. I mean, I full disclosure, I could only watch so much of it, Piers, before I said, give me a break, rolled my eyes and moved on with my life. So I would say if you want to waste 3 hours of your life, and you love drama and your soap opera isn't coming in, watch this because it's amazing.
Yeah.
But this rewriting of history through their eyes, like they're somehow victims, they're not victims. She's crazy and she's trying to destroy a family here. And I used to kind of feel sorry for Harry. I don't anymore.
No.
Because he's sitting there doing it with her. Like,
yeah.
You can even see at the curtsy moment that you just came in with here. He looks at her almost like she's crazy. And maybe in 3 or 4 or 5 years, she'll realize this woman has destroyed my life.
Yeah, I think that's the moment we'll look back on, I suspect, in a couple of years, and that'll be a tipping point. Let's go to Arvida King. Arvida King, Dr. King is one of my all-time heroes, as he is many people. He truly was somebody who stood up to racial injustice, racial inequality, like nobody in modern times, and it cost him his life. The idea that these two are in any way, on any level, people doing similar stuff is, to me, fanciful. They're just sitting there in a mansion in California, spray gunning their families, calling them a bunch of callous, vile racists without any evidence.
Calculated? Maybe. But it's raising eyebrows everywhere. Let's not forget the paparazzi story. The Netflix doc showed intense media swarms, but Morgan says some of those clips weren't even of Meghan. He claims the narrative of being hunted was exaggerated, maybe even staged, to justify their exit from the UK. Real or not, it's a storyline that's won them plenty of sympathy. And even more critics. Last up, the most explosive debate, racism in the UK press. Some analysts argue Meghan was targeted unfairly. Others say the coverage was about her choices, not her race. Morgan's take? Claims of racism are being weaponized to silence criticism while the couple cashes in on their royal status.
Aren't they?
Do I just jump in?
Well, Piers.
Off you go.
Hi.
Hi, Arvida. Off you go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Well, here I am. I grew up with The Princess and the Pea, Cinderella, lately Wakanda Forever, and exploring all these various cultures. And so there is no happily ever after in Cinderella land if you're from 2 different cultures. And so what we have is a cultural confusion on Meghan's part, and she wants to superimpose her culture on her husband and their family, and that just doesn't work. But I'm remindful of my uncle, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We must learn to live together as brothers, and I'll say as sisters, or perish together as fools. Now, there's only one blood and one human race, and so to put racism into everything doesn't necessarily ring true either. And really, Britain had a queen. I think it was Queen Sophie, who was part German and part Black African person. So it's not like the monarchy is opposed to skin color, but there's only one blood and one race. But I think Meghan is mixing maybe Hollywood fantasy and her pain of what she wants to see. But you can't topple a whole line of traditions based on pain. But past pain, there is communication. It takes some guts to even speak out and say some of these things. But we want to bring this back into a reality, and I think that's the problem.
Alvida, that's one of the most brilliant analysis I've heard, actually, of the whole farrago. Thank you. Absolutely brilliant.
Okay.
I want to bring in Jason Lee now. You fall for all this. You think they're great heroes and deserve all the awards they're getting and they're freedom fighters standing up to the oppressive Brits, do you?
Well, I'm not obsessed with them to the point that I'm following every move that they're making, but I have watched the documentary, and so far I love it. And I'm somebody who's black and white, and, you know, I've listened to some of the people on the show today. The guy who started at the top of this segment has just annoyed me. You can tell he probably doesn't have much love in his life. And the woman before the last segment, she was probably a bit oversized and unattractive.
Awesome kids, dude.
Doesn't really sound like she had... Hold on, we already heard what you had to say. Clearly, you're mad that there's black blood in the bloodline for the royal family. But since you want to talk about... If you want to talk about racism in the UK, let's talk about the racism in UK then, because the blood diamonds at Buckingham Palace have not been returned. You're very consumed with the man who's in love with a black woman. That's the problem that you have. But this is the deal. I love the fact that Harry... I love that... Wait a minute.
Time out. Unity.
They're all human beings. Skin color.
But here's the deal. Everybody got to talk before me.
All right, listen.
Everybody got to talk before me.
You can't all talk at once. Jason, here's the problem, Jason. It's when you get to the specifics of who in the royal family has actually been racist. There's no answer. There's no evidence. There are no facts. It's all just smear by association. They're racist. They're blind to it all. They're unconsciously biased. Blah, blah, blah. Where is the meat on the bone? Where are the facts?
Well, we haven't seen it all yet, and I think that we have to let them tell their story, right? We're both in the media. One thing I love about you, Piers, you say what you feel, what you think, regardless of how people feel, and I think they should be given the same freedom. We enjoy talking about them. Let them tell their story so we can talk about their story. I look at their love story from their point of view, and I look at how it's been reported, and I can enjoy it all without feeling, getting in my feelings. I think that how she described meeting the Queen, I don't know how I would have felt if I would have met the Queen. I didn't have that privilege, but I probably would have been nervous too. And I don't know what preparation went on. I mean, what we're looking at is very public people who are under scrutiny, who had private lives, and now we're seeing what that looked like.
Yeah, but you know what, Jason?
She met the Queen.
She met the Queen privately, and she was with the Queen's grandson, who probably does know how you greet the Queen.
She also had
So
Ferguson there.
exactly.
This was the Queen's grandson.
Look, that was a great panel. I want to thank Jason. Ben Ferguson. And just for the record, wait, Ben Ferguson. I think you would like to just clarify. You do have.
I get it.
Alvida, 1 second. Ben, just to clarify, you do have love in your life, yeah?
Yes. I have a wife that loves me, 3 children that love me, and I said nothing about race in my comments.
I've got to leave it there. Thank you to my panel. Thank you very much indeed. We'll be back after the break. Get our verdicts here from Katie and Paul. Welcome back. Got a note from my sister in the break there. Her husband, my brother-in-law, used to be the person in charge of training William and Harry at Sandhurst Military Academies. All the royals used to go down there, including for their passing out parades. I thought you ought to know that having seen the royal family in action in private, after the passing out parades, they're the most loving, affectionate, relaxed people, just like any other normal family. We watched them all hug each other, tease each other. It was lovely to be a part of. I witnessed it at both Harry and William's passing out parades. Meghan is talking absolute bleep. Thank you, Charlotte, my sister. We're all pretty much the same in my family, uncensored. Let me go to Samsara quickly in Canterbury. Very quickly, Samsara, your view.
My view is it's fascinating. Just like you said, it's a big statement that says nothing's wrong with me, nothing's wrong with us. We're normal people. We've had an experience. And the thing that Harry talks about is unconscious bias. So I know you've mentioned racism, and perhaps it's not being called out just yet explicitly in the documentary, but it's the blind spots, it's the areas where people might well be well-meaning, but in fact, underlying that are some prejudices and judgments that may not really be appropriate.
Okay, that's a good point. Katie, your overview, really, from all the discussions we've had. I mean, we haven't mentioned yet the little digs that were going on about Kate and William.
Yeah,
you know,
there
the
were
people,
digs.
you know, fitting the mould wives.
Digs. Well, he said, you know, the men in the family have married women who fit the mould. Well, I think you can look at William and Kate and their 10-year love story before they even married and say this is one of the most enduring love stories of royal history.
And respectful of the institution,
Very
which gives them the
respectful of
luxurious life they have.
But apparently, you know, they were cool towards, you know, the couple, and there was that.
Well, because when Meghan Markle was for the first time, she's barefoot and wants to hug them all.
Yeah.
It's like she's a 36-year-old divorcee. I'll probably give her a bit of a wide berth myself.
Yeah.
Paul.
Remember respect. Don't trash the royal family. We love them here in England. They're our institution. Remember what your mother would say to you. Your mother would say to you, Harry, I'm proud of you for being a member of our royal family. I'm proud of your brother. I always thought that you'd be his wingman. And she was very proud to be a princess. I've got letters at home that say,
Diana
want
would
to.
absolutely hate the rift with William and Harry.
Absolutely.
And the fact that they would go on national television now for the second time and trash William and Kate and Charles and all of it, it would be
And I
for
think
her.
the way Harry has monopolised Diana and her legacy, and can you imagine how that must feel for the Prince of Wales?
Yes.
She was both of their mother, and he's taking
And
this
by the way, they've just
narrative.
lost the Queen, right? They're all still grieving the loss of our greatest monarch. Thank you both very much.
The truth? It's complicated, and opinions are split worldwide. So, where does this leave us? With the Markles ready to fight back, and the critics getting louder, the royal drama is just beginning. Was Meghan misunderstood? Or is this all a masterclass in PR spin? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more royal truths, unfiltered and unspun, subscribe to Uncovered right now. Stay curious. I'll see you in the next one.